Welcome to Phonogenics 101, a Riotboy production hosted by Jeremy Gloff. The podcast where people who love music discuss albums track by track. Please hit subscribe, and if you'd like to support this podcast, patreon.com/Jeremy Gloff or Venmo @Jeremy Gloff. And now, on to the music. Hello, everybody. We are here to sexplore the next album of Janet Jackson. We have a newcomer to the panel tonight, but before I introduce him, of course, thanks to the YouTube subscribers, I'm not going to lie. Every time I log on that YouTube, more people are subscribed, and I'm not doing shit to promote this podcast. I'm just putting it out in the universe, and people are finding it. So if you find it, tell a friend. But this is the podcast. We've had a couple kind of go viral, but this is another one. We came into this podcast being like, Damita fucking hoe. But now we're all like, justice for Damita Joe. Not to give away everything like in the first 2 minutes. But anyway, I'm not gonna lie. I was listening to this Damita Joe this afternoon. My wrist was flailing out the window. I was getting teary-eyed. I was falling in love. I was like, I want to fall in love and sing this song. So like, we're gonna have a great podcast ahead of us. Thanks to the Patreon subscribers. Just like the YouTube subscribers, every week another person's been jumping on. So my dream is just quit my day job and just do this podcast. So keep the money coming, y'all. So I can just, I'll do one a night for 5 nights a week. Anyway,
hey, I'll do it.
All right. Yes. All right. Well, we have a newcomer to the panel. Let's have Albert. Why don't you introduce yourself, say where you're from and what brought you here and your thoughts on Janet, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot to say, but whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, my name is Albert. I live in Los Angeles, California. I've been a Janet fan pretty much all my life. I mean, when I was growing up, I'm 40 years old now. When I was growing up, my sisters had the radio on in the 80s all the time. So Janet, Michael, Prince, Madonna, all the legends were always playing. So I'm a Janet fan. Madonna's my number one girl. I'm going to go see. Yeah, she is. And I'm sorry I missed the Madonna series because I found your podcast randomly. And so I've been listening to it at work. Like I'll glance at it every now and then. But I watched the whole Madonna series. I watched the whole Prince series. So it was really entertaining. So I'm glad to join you guys for the second half of Janet's discography.
Well, I feel like you're already part of the family. So welcome to the Phonogenics 101 family. I hope we entertained you while you're at work. We are a bunch of characters, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And really quick, Jeremy, do you remember you used to have a blog? I don't know if you still have it. Years ago, I stumbled upon your blog and you wrote a series of Madonna posts called the Madonna Chronicles. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I still have that.
Yeah, I came across that maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago. And I remember your name stood out to me. And when I found your podcast, I'm like, oh, that's that guy that wrote the Madonna Chronicles. So I remember reading that. And it was so, because I've been a Madonna fan also what it seems like my whole life, but I wasn't there for the beginning of some of those eras. So it was really interesting to see your take or to read your take on all those as they were happening. So that was really cool.
See, I put my website away, but I should make it live again because I did a lot of writing and I did a whole series of like Amazon reviews of albums that I had a whole following. Then one day I'm like, I'm deleting everything. I just get crazy. So hopefully I don't get crazy and delete this whole podcast someday. That's
like when Madonna deleted her Instagram post.
Yeah, just like that. When I announce the celebration tour, I'm going to delete everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, David, do you want to say a little bit? You've been with me since the beginning of Madonna.
My name is David. I am from Miami. I'm 46 years old, lifelong a Madonna fan. But I kind of knew Janet before Madonna because I love Good Times and Fame and a different strokes. So I knew her from that. No, we're happy to have you, Albert. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I'm so familiar with you, David, from the Madonna series.
We say some off the chain shit sometimes. That's for sure.
And I've seen Jamie here and there too. Jamie, you were on some of the other Janet ones, right? I remember you from.
Was it entertaining?
Yes, you were on the.
Oh, it was me. Yeah, that was the one I was on. Yeah.
So, Jimmy, since we're with you, why don't you talk a little bit?
Okay, I'm the elder statesman of the group, being 59.
You're 59 YO. 59 YO.
59. So I actually, both Madonna and Janet were like in real time life for me. Like I was hitting the clubs when the music was fresh, when they were coming out. So both Madonna and Janet are huge influences. I'm was basically a new wave kind of alternative music guy, but I'm telling you that both Janet and Madonna, when I would go to all the cool people's parties, I would pull out those cassettes, and at the end of the night, who did they want to listen to? It was those two, Control and Madonna's first album, and they were played at the coolest new wavers you can imagine. They were loving it, and most of them didn't even, and they didn't even know of them, and they were like, "What are you playing?" And I'm like, "Let me school you a little bit on some of this," because I mean, I remember when Madonna's Everybody came out in the clubs, and we didn't even know what she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, Janet's album Control, I didn't really get into her music until that album, but that album just blew up, and it was just, you know, what have you done for me lately? That's, you know, exactly what. So, you know, I'm here to, you know, I experienced those early years, you know, live and in person.
That's awesome.
And cool. And I think something maybe I don't do enough on this podcast is kind of say the reason why I do it. I think there's tons of Wikipedia articles out there about the facts. And there's a lot of, you know, I'm not a professional kind of stuffy kind of guy. I'm kind of just laid back. But I think what this podcast does is we talk about what this music meant to us in real time when it came out in our lives. And, you know, all these albums were a huge part of our lives. Like I went to Target the day Damita Joe came out. I went to Target the day 20YO. Like I bought all these albums the day they came out. And whether I liked them or not at the time, they were part of my life. So, you know, having like-minded people share also what these songs meant to them. I love going through the albums track by track. So, anything else to say before we dive into Damita Joe? All right. Well, I'll give a little bit of background. No need to really talk about the Super Bowl. Everyone knows that Janet's Titty came out. That's no secret. No need to recap the story that everybody knows. But I do want to talk about how this album landed with me in light of everything that happened. Because I was a huge Janet fan. And I remember waiting for Damita Joe to come out. I remember that just a little while had leaked before the Super Bowl. It was getting buzz. Everyone that I knew was talking about this new Janet song that was so good. Then the Super Bowl happened. And then all of a sudden, this new Janet song kind of disappeared. We'll kind of go in the track by track. But I remember when I saw this album cover, prior to this album, every Janet album had such a strong concept and strong theme. And every album was so different. You know, you're entering a universe when you went into Janet's album. So Control made sense to me. Rhythm Nation made sense. It was that black and white photo, very political. Then when she went to the Janet, kind of exploring her sexuality with the iconic album cover, it made sense as a concept. Velvet Rope, a very personal, a dark album. The cover artwork reflected that. Then we had All For You, which was her first, you know, she's single. She's out of her marriage. She has that big smile on the cover. This was the first Janet album I got that, to me, the concept didn't blow me away. And the cover kind of felt to me like, oh, there she is, naked with the smile again. So my immediate thought before even hearing any of the music was that the concept wasn't as strong as all these iconic albums that had come before it. And that was just my experience. And, you know, the concept was Damita Joe is Janet's middle name. And she said that she was exploring a side of herself that she didn't show. But, like, you know, she kind of did that with Velvet Rope. She kind of did that with Janet. So I'm like, how many sides can someone have that they're not showing? Like, I know we're all multifaceted, but by this time, I was like, all right, now what? And the Super Bowl, for those that lived through it, was such a cultural moment because everybody was talking about Janet's Titty. Everybody. Everyone was obsessed about it, and people went. I don't know if we have any Joni fans here, but she has a line in her song For the Roses. Just when you get a taste of worship, they start bringing out the hammers and the nails. And that's exactly what happened to Janet Jackson. We loved her for all these years, and in one moment, all of a sudden, nobody loved Janet anymore. Like literally one moment, everything changed. And Janet was a beloved piece of pop culture. Don't you all feel? There was never anything negative about Janet.
Yeah, and there were hardly any controversies before that with Janet, unless it involved her family or something crazy. But it's like her first major controversy, and it was a big one. Big one.
Like
So,
she had controversies in the past, her marriage.
Oh, that's true. I guess I meant more career-wise.
And then her secret marriage that nobody knew about, but it wasn't about, it wasn't anything to the extreme of this. And the thing is, it's like, I'm a Madonna stan. That bitch is forever naked. So you know what I mean? And like, but like, I can't believe this man had so much power that he just shut down her career completely. Like removed her from radio. Like you were saying, like you were saying about, just a little while let me tell you, had huge airplay at the beginning, had debut in the top 50 to start off. And then it was gone. It was completely gone.
Like it never happened.
And I don't know. We didn't do enough as fans to like stop it. Like to me, it was a titty. I don't give a fuck. It's a tit with a beautiful nipple ring that I lived for. That sun was adorable. And I'm like, okay, it's just a titty, but I did not know. And then like obviously, like I was telling you, like I had the singles because I still clubbed at that time, so I still had the singles because they had great club remixes, but I didn't really sit down and listen to the album, and nobody around me listened to the album.
Nope.
So that was another shocker, because even if you don't hear something, somebody around you will say, well, you need to listen to this bitch talking all that shit. Fuck American Life. Get into Damita Joe. You know what I mean? Nobody told me shit like this. So it was an eye-opener this week listening to this album.
And I'll just say a couple more things. I know I'm kind of being long-winded here, but I really feel passionate about this because here's my club singles, by the way. I got the Just a Little While, a couple of those, and then the I Want You and All Night Don't Stop one. But after the Super Bowl thing happened, how this album came out with such a sexual cover, it's really front-loaded with sexual songs. So I feel like it landed really bad at the time because I feel like it just kind of everyone's like, oh yep, there she is. There's Janet.
There's the proof. Yeah.
And listening to this album, there's so much romance and so much love and so much freedom. She had just started dating Jermaine Dupri here, right? Or somewhat.
No, she had already. No, she'd been
with him for a while.
It's been a couple of years already now that she's been dating him.
Okay, but she was clearly feeling a lot of love writing this album, and that doesn't come out in the artwork or the concept. I just wonder if the album had been framed differently to just really show what the album is, because I feel like the title Damita Joe, even the cover and the concept don't really let you see what's inside.
No, it's our fault, our fucking fault, because we did not put our foot down for this bullshit. Like the fans did not say, this is wrong. I want to hear Janet. You need to play her.
Right.
Because one thing is to remove it off airplay, but if you have a lot of people on it, then they're forced to play it.
Yeah.
But what happened to us? We were like, oh, whatever.
So I feel like Damita Joe, also the title, it was such a, Janet's always groundbreaking. Because of Damita Joe, I feel like we got our Sasha Fierces and our Joannes and our Britney Jeans, How do you all feel about the title and the concept of
when are we gonna get the Louise album?
Yeah.
Louise Veronica.
Louise Veronica. We almost had Veronica Electronica.
Where's my Esther album?
Where's Esther? So how do y'all feel about the title and the concept of Damita Joe framing this album? Do you like it?
Well,
I agree with Go ahead,
I agree with you, Jeremy. I don't think the concept was as strong as it was for her previous albums before this. I do think there was a concept, but it was so loose and not very clear. So my take on it is, the beginning, you said it's very front loaded with, all these sexy songs. So what I took away from her concept was, okay, these are my different sides, my sexy side, my playful side. But in the end, it all comes back to love, which I think is one of the interludes.
Yeah.
And going back to Jermaine Dupri, I think she was just really head over heels for him at the time. So I took it as her saying, I have all these things within me, but in the end, it's all about finding the one. So that's what I took from the concept.
And for all the slut shaming that Janet took, she's exploring all this sexuality with a monogamous partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's so crazy that I even feel like us gays turned on Janet in a way, just like you said, David. Like, you know,
But
we
I
were
don't
playing.
think-
Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I don't think there's anything that is special enough about the album cover. You know, I agree with you. It's kind of like a shot of Janet that we've seen before. That, you know, I just think that had it come with packaged with a more visual appeal that would kind of catch your eye. But I think this one was easy just to see it and go, oh, look, there's Janet without her top on, smiling.
Again.
Right. So I think that, you know, especially in light of the controversy, it was just an unfortunate, you know, collision of events, you know, that to her detriment, to no fault of her own, really.
And I was messaging with Albert a little bit earlier. I've listened to this album. It's been 20 years now, right? Or 19 years. I've listened to it a lot when it came out. I liked 2 or 3 songs, but then most of them didn't hit for me. And I would always pull it back out like every 5 years. And they didn't hit me, but till some reason this week, this album hit. Like, I fell in love with Damita Jo in the last week. I don't know what changed. And I wonder even if I was tainted by the backlash. As a huge fan, because this is a great album. How did I not give it a chance? So, David, it's our fucking fault.
It is our fucking fault.
It's our fucking fault. I'm sorry, Janet. Janet,
I
you deserve better.
apologize, legend. But
So-
like, I was like, I'm still in shock that like, okay. And then, you know, but you know, this album came and went so quickly.
Yeah.
Two singles,
So
right?
like it had, you know, it had 3 singles and a 4th one that was just serviced to Urban
3 singles.
AZ. So 3 singles and a 4th one just chilling there, which I didn't even hear about the 4th one because I always knew about the 3 and that was it. The hardcore gays didn't leave her because those songs all went to #1 on the club charts.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but we're very small group. And like, if your hardcore stands, which are, you know, your meat and potatoes, and they're not there for it, then how much can we do?
Right.
And still, I feel bad that we didn't do enough.
And I kind of feel like the gay audience didn't have as much visibility in 2004 as maybe because like every pop star under the suns now is kind of publicly embracing their gay fan base. I think things were a little quite not all the way out yet in 2004. Would you guys agree?
I would agree with that. And I think the rise of social media is, you know, partly responsible for that, for us being more visible.
Here we are. We're Damita's hoes. All right.
I actually, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually listened to this album a lot when it came out. I think I'm in a little bit of a different boat here, but this album came out when I first moved out on my own, out of my parents' house when I was, I don't know, 20, 21. So I moved to LA from a very small town, and this album came out a few months after that. And it was just on repeat in my CD player, my CD Walkman all the time. So I loved this album when it came out.
Did the music feel like freedom to you, kind of? Because I can hear it
a little bit. It did, because you know I was really sheltered growing up because I had never been to a big city before, so I came out here, and there's just certain albums that really take me back to that time, and this is one of them for me. Absolutely. So that's why I wanted to get on here and defend it.
Oh, and here we are. We're all converted.
And we're like, there's nothing to defend.
I know. I was ready for a little bit of an argument because I remember at the end of the last podcast for All For You, there were some comments flying like, "Oh, Damita Jo's coming up," and I'm like, "Uh-oh, they're gonna come for my Damita Jo."
Oh,
I think for me, what happened was,
"No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it," and I'm just happy we did it because I'm very excited about this.
All right, Jimmy, what'd you get?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think what happened to me is the Velvet Rope for me set such a high bar for her that then the All For You album to me just sounded too sunny and happy and just light. And I just was not, that's just not my, like, I like the darker or a little bit more intense kind of elements to music. And so I think that, I kind of, was guilty of kind of dismissing Damita Joe as it was going to be more of that same kind of, things where like Velvet Rope, I just worship that album and every track, I think I gave it a 10 when we did the review. So I had been disappointed by the All For You. It didn't really live up for me.
We all
So
kind of were, I feel like.
Yeah, so I don't think I gave Damita Joe really a fair shot. Probably just coasting on the disappointment from the previous album. And, just looking at the album cover, it's like, oh, it just looks same. But in this review of it, it did remind me of the elements of it that I actually did love and, do love. So I can't wait for us to get in there. I'm sure I'm going to say some things that people are not going to agree with. But my whole point in me participating in this podcast is, like I said, I'm not a researcher. I'm not going to give you facts and numbers and things like that. I'm just bringing to you what my experience is listening to this music and how it makes me feel and respond to it. So I don't want to, I hope I don't offend anybody. I may say things that sound offensive, but I don't mean it in that spirit. Although I do mean it kind of bitchy, catty, funny. So
stay uncensored, and there's no wrong opinion in Phonogenics 101.
That's
you
right.
basically summed up what the podcast means to me and everybody. We're just saying how we feel. And I love in the comments section, people agree or disagree and say their experience. So, all right. Well, going into the album, I'm going to say one more negative thing. I think
fucking interlude. Go
oh, there it is. I think another disservice to this album are the fucking interludes.
Girl,
I feel like,
and then she had those interludes at the end of the song.
Yes.
So you couldn't fucking skip it.
Yes.
I felt like she was like trying to read poetry. I'm like, this is poetic injustice here, baby.
See, I disagree. I enjoy the interludes on this album.
Really? Oh,
I do.
No.
I did not enjoy them.
I agree with you, Albert, because I did enjoy the interludes. But she was talking those interludes at the end of the song.
Oh, that's true. She was being sneaky. She's like, she knows that we're getting tired.
I know they've had enough. It's been 20 years of interludes. I know they've had enough. But no, I was just gonna say that, we have been like, we're so over the interludes. So I already came into this album with a negative connotation on these interludes, but these interludes were good.
Yeah.
I thought some of them were. She's like, oh, I just love laundry detergent. It just makes my shirt clean. Like, I feel like she was talking about some bullshit in some of them. I love the islands, the sun. Like, bitch.
I like that. Cute.
Really?
I like that island interlude, honestly, because I'm Caribbean, so I kind of like that kind of shit. You know what I mean? She's like, I love spending my time in Anguilla and
I prefer plastic over paper bags at the supermarket. Like, I just feel like they just went on and on.
I thought she was I thought she was really personal with these, because the other ones have been little cute skits or, had a huge meaning. But this one was like, oh, she's just chilling. They asked her a question and she's like, I like there and shit like that.
To me, it's almost like diary entries. Like this first interlude, Looking for Love, like to me, it's almost like half of a song. It's so pretty. I don't know. I think this is a much better intro than the Fran Drescher intro from the last album. So yeah, right. To me, I'll listen to this. I think it's so pretty, this Looking for Love interlude.
Yeah, it's musically interesting. That interlude, I will give it that.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
My name's Damita Joe. I'm country. My dad's name's Joe.
And yeah, that one. Well, we'll get to that.
Okay, Looking for Love, the interlude. All right, I kind of fell in love with this album this week, so you motherfuckers might have swayed me on the interludes, and I might have just fallen in love with the fucking interludes too. Because you know what? They are different than the way she did it on any other album, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
You have to say that.
And it kind of does fit the concept of the album, so maybe I was wrong, son of a bitch. And it is true, I'm a little bit of a fractured soul with a little bit of damage, I'm not going to lie. So when I was listening to this interlude, like, we have all these different sides and they're all just looking for love. I'm getting a little emotional because that's fucking true. I think of all, like, the nastiest, dirtiest, most self-disrespect shit I've ever done, it's because I was just looking for love. And like, Janet hits hard when you really think about it. And I think if any time in my life where I did something fucked up, it was always looking for love. So I take it back. The interludes are good. You fucking people doing this podcast. All right. Any other thoughts on looking for love? Are we doing the thumbs up, sideways, and okay, thumbs up. Thumbs up for looking for
That
love.
one, I'll give that one.
All right. Damita Joe. There was a article, I think, in Entertainment Weekly or some magazine, where Britney Spears had to list her favorite songs of all time, and one of them was the song Damita Joe by Janet Jackson. So I thought that was interesting because at the time I'm like, Damita Joe. But listening to the song,
She ain't lie. She ain't lie.
Britney was once again ahead of the fucking time because this song totally sounds like 2004. The background vocals are soulful as fuck. This song, go ahead, David, take it away.
I apologize. Let me tell you that this is this album as a whole is a snapshot of 2004, 2005, 2006 R&B, and I live for it. Truly, I live for it. Like the production on this album, starting with this song, was fire. This, like at that time, I was listening to A. Marie, I was listening to Sierra, I was listening to Keisha Cole. Like R&B ladies were serving, and this is like, for me, it was like, hey, like I tend to forget that she's young, but to me she's like old because she's been here forever, you know what I mean? But this was a very youthful sound that worked for her. You know how some older people will try to take a youthful sound and it just seems so try hard, and this was just like, hey, I'm Damita Joe, and I'm now coming into this new decade, and we're going to be playing some of this music, and it was fire. And straight up.
Had she ever sang like that before? I feel like this was new for Janet, this 2004 sound. Maybe she touched on it a little bit in All For You, but I really feel like this album was a lot more of a progression and cutting edge than we ever gave it credit for.
Yeah, I mean, I love the layers of sound in this song, and I love the lyrics. It's so autobiographical, and I just think it really sets up the album. So I think it's well placed, which is all important to me. But right. I just think it really kind of sets up the album, and I have not a negative thing to say about it, really.
All right, Albert, what's your thoughts on Damita Joe?
I like it too. I agree that it's definitely very 2004 R&B. I mean, the horns remind me of Crazy in Love a little bit by Beyonce. Wasn't that out around that time?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I saw Janet in concert recently on her last tour, and she opened with it. And I thought that was an interesting choice. And it was a good opener. So, yeah, I like this song. I think it's a good opener for the album.
Mm-hmm. Now, a little sidebar. Speaking of older artists co-opting younger sounds, quick sidebar. How'd you all feel about Donna Summer Crayons? Anybody hear that album, her last album?
I haven't heard it in full.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't either. But there was one song.
I did love it. Stamp Your Feet. That was a hit.
Yeah, I think that was the one I liked.
Great. It was. I thought some of it was great, but it is a fact that it seems like you get to be a certain age and you're just not going to get radio play. It's like you're going to be banned and you're going to be written off by majority of the people, and it's a shame because the voice was still there. And
do you think it's safe to say that I feel like, in retrospect, and I can't believe I'm saying all these things, Janet taking on the Damita Joe 2004 sound felt a lot more natural to me than maybe Madonna's stuff with EDM on MDNA. Like, I feel like this is Janet doing Janet music, not her trying to jump on a trend or anything. I felt like this felt like a really genuine. It felt very genuine to me. How do you?
Well, we'll get to a track or two that I might have some commentary.
Okay.
But, overall, I like, I think we're setting it up for a good ride.
And I do love the MDNA album. No shade or anything.
I agree with you, though.
I agree with you, but this was a great progression for her.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to be left behind,
right?
And she's moving with the times. And I really love 2000s R&B music.
Oh,
I truly do.
All right. Well, Damita Joe, the song. Thumbs fucking up.
Yeah.
Next, the song that I did play all the fucking time back in the day. So I had a friend that was very artsy that moved to New York City. And I made him like this mixtape of like Marianne Faithfull and all these like really artsy singer-songwriter songs. Then I'm like, oh, at the end I have this lost bonus track of Marianne Faithfull, and I put fucking Sexhibition at the end of the CD just to punk him because he's like, what the fuck is this? But at the time, in light of the Super Bowl and everything, I feel like the song Sexhibition landed so poorly because, like, oh, but like, listen to it now. I'm in my car. I'm like, bitch, I want to
But it's good.
Oh,
it's
girl.
so
It's so
good.
good. Oh, and if you put something like Sexhibition next to like Madonna doing Holy Water, you know, which, you know, I like that bitch get off my pole. Not to compare the divas, but Sexhibition's hot as fuck, and it's not trying too hard. Like, I love
it's
it.
fun.
It's
got
fun.
a fun groove. It's got a fun groove. And I think it is well suited for the overall theming of the album. I mean, we're going to touch on things later, so I think it's giving you a hint at things to come. And what a fun groove going.
Yeah, I agree.
The most sex is the title.
Yes,
that's the problem. I think as we talk about how it was front loaded with sex and all this stuff, that's just the title. And she tells you at the end, it's just sex.
And that was like her message to America. Like, what a timely statement in light of everything that happened. Relax. It's only sex. It's just sex.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this one as well. It's not one of my top favorites from the album. But I agree. It's fun. Yeah, I like it. I enjoyed this one.
And I'm in my car like, it's so sensual, just tell Damita Joe. Like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting that she mentions her name Damita Joe again. I wonder if these two songs are in that alter ego Damita Joe, and then it gradually starts moving into the Janet persona. I don't know, but I like it.
But this is a prime sexual Janet song.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't, it's effortless for her. And it's not crude, it's not, perverted. It's
kind of funny.
Exactly.
It's a lot of wordplay, yeah.
Do you think it sounds like anything in her catalog before this? Because at the time I'm like, this album's so treading water. Now that I listen to it, I'm like, bitch, I was wrong. There's nothing like Sexhibition in her catalog.
I can't think of anything.
Nope. Oh, well, thumbs up, son of a bitch. Next, you're a fine motherfucker. I like it. Strawberry fucking Bounce. I love this.
This song is a bop and a half. Bop and a half. Just having Jay-Z's bounce, all he's saying is bounce. And it worked. She don't never say strawberry bounce, but this was everything. This is something that I would be jamming to hardcore. This is a hit.
Yeah.
A bona fide hit.
Yeah. If the Super Bowl hadn't happened, I almost wonder if this would have been a hit if they had released it. I love this song. I think it's so great. It reminds me of it's so sing-songy. It's like it reminds me of those hopscotch chants that kids do. But then it sounds like an ice cream truck with the little ding dongs. It's just I just think it's so fun.
Imagine the choreography they could have come up with it for an iconic video for Strawberry
Bounce. In fact, she performed it on SNL, and I think it did have choreography.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to give in some of those facts because I don't know all those things. I did love this song when the album came out. I thought it was so 2004 futuristic sounding for Janet.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like anything she had done before. She was definitely progressing.
Yeah. And I love that bridge. I love the bridge.
Oh my God.
It's so great.
Woo! Jimmy, what do you think of Strawberry Bounce?
I'm not sure you want me to
No, go ahead.
Say my thoughts on this song. Okay. I will say I saw the title. I mean, I remember seeing the title and thinking, oh, that looks like it ought to be a Britney Spears song. Strawberry Bounce. And then listening to it makes me think of a Britney song with the la la la's. And I think lyrically it fits in the album, so it makes sense lyrically, but it's just, for me, again, it's just too light and airy. It's almost too fun. and light, whereas I gravitate towards the more dark grooves, deeper,
Okay.
harder hitting songs, I guess, is, just more my take. So for me, this is not one of my favorites of hers.
Another thing I loved about this song is that the kind of piano sound there, whatever that sound is, it's so dissonant. Like it's such a weird, it's almost
Yeah,
like they're
that's
hitting
true.
the wrong notes. I just thought it was so creative.
Yeah.
And this album, like at the time, I'm gonna keep beating myself up because it really starts with like a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch. Like this album's already starting off a lot stronger than
Then
All
all
it's-
for you.
yeah, All for You.
Mhm.
So all
Yeah,
right.
these first
was kinda
three
scared
songs are
because,
definitely. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I apologize. I was kind of scared because All For You had those first two bops, and then it went downhill from there.
See, I'd say 3
So-
bops because I'd say Come On Get Up was a bop.
Yes, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But here we go again. We're hitting hard. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And she delivered.
Mhm. And Albert, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say you mentioned something about the songs having a punch, and I agree with that. These first 3 songs are all just super like compact and punchy because they're very short.
Yeah.
2 minutes 46 seconds, 2 minutes 29 seconds, 3 minutes 11 seconds. So they all come in this quick succession, and they just kind of get you going. So yeah, I'm a fan of this first little chunk for sure.
All right, so Strawberry Bounce, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs from me.
You better.
I'll give it
Oh.
at least 1 thumb down.
All
Just
right.
give it 2 thumbs down and move it. We're
Okay,
not, if you don't like something, you don't like something. I'm
It's
not here
all
to
good.
rip you over.
none of us like the well, except for Albert. None of us like this album. I hope a little shout out to Sharon. I hope she does listen to this album. I'd love to hear what she thinks of it, even though she couldn't join the
Mhm.
podcast, because I just fucking fell in love with this album. Okay,
So did I.
next. I was driving in my car today, listening to My Baby with Kanye West, and it was so romantic. Those background vocals during the chorus, like, oh, okay,
Another hit
another hit
song.
song.
Yep.
Another hit song. This makes, oh my God, first of all, a young Kanye. Kanye had just blown up the year before as a rapper, but he had been doing production for a good couple of years before that. So this production is lovely. His
Nice.
rapping and her singing, just they were so, this is another, Kanye gave a hit to Janet with this song. Kanye gave a hit to Madonna on Hard Candy, and none of these hookers released it.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me so mad.
That was a wasted opportunity not to release this. This is a very,
Especially because he was fire. He was so hot at the moment.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like this could have been the lead single after the Super Bowl. Maybe. I mean, I know she's blacklisted, but it's so undeniably.
Let me tell you, had the Super Bowl not happened, she had the perfect choice for lead single. When we get to that song,
okay,
she had the perfect choice.
But I think that this one is, a lot of people would like this song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I was listening to it, I'm like, wide appeal. I think this would appeal to a wide range of people. I think, unfortunately, now, it's influenced by how people may feel about Kanye. But, if you just strip that away, when at the time, it just had wide appeal and is a missed opportunity, I think, for, a potential big hit.
And don't you feel like it's beautiful in only the way Janet can be beautiful with things? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, strictly Janet. Yeah.
This shit made me believe in love again this afternoon, and I'm a crusty old bitch. Are we disappointing you? Because you're like, I'm here to defend you, Damita Joe, and we're like, we love this album.
I was ready to come guns blazing, but hey, this is easier. No, this is a lovely song. I love it. I'm not a huge fan of Kanye West, I will admit, but I can listen to this on repeat. This is a great song.
And I did.
Definitely, if not first single, definitely second or third single tier.
Yes, yes. All right, My Baby. Now, when I revisited this album last year, this one jumped out last year. So that's when I started kind of turning the tide because I never paid attention to this song. And then the last time I brought this album out was when this one, I'm like, holy shit. So I feel like it was warming me up for this deep love that I felt this week. All right, next, the Islands interlude. Janet's talking about how she loves the islands. I love it. All right. You guys have won me over.
I love the humidity.
Yep. You know she does.
What woman says that? What woman on this planet says I love humidity?
You know she likes that cooch to be. She wants that cooch to be moist.
Well, we'll get to
No,
that.
please.
Yeah, we'll get to-
They've been living in the north so long. Of course, they love the humidity. They love the heat.
I love the humidity. I love living in Florida. I love it. All right. Spending time with you. I feel like this is you get to the point in the Janet album where you have the song that isn't the hit, but it's still a good transitional track.
It's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut.
And it flowed so nicely after the interlude.
Yeah, nice easy beat is what I think this one has. I do think it's a nice easy beat. Lyrically, again, it's going to fit in where we're going, and it's a rather simplistic lyrically for her. I think it's a lighter, but that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything doesn't have to be super deep. I mean, I just think this one kind of floats on through it, and it's not a bad journey through this song at all.
And people, you got to know that sometimes you could be like starlight, star bright, first star I see. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have
to be Mer Girl every time.
Right.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be, like something, but this works perfectly.
Yeah.
Like are you gonna skip it? No, you're not gonna skip it.
I feel like it's the sun's going down, it's dusk, you're walking down a city street, you have a beautiful man next to you, you're just spending time with someone, like you're going into the night.
And the hook sticks.
Yeah. Nothing better and it's still very 2004 current.
Yep.
I love this song. This little chunk of 4 tracks, The Island, Spending Time with You, Magic Hour, Island Life, they just flow. It's just such a nice little breezy section of the album. And a quick little story, when I mentioned earlier that this album was playing at a certain time in my life, I was living in student housing at the time, and there was this boy that I had a huge crush on. I would see him all the time, and I would just listen to this song and pretend that I was spending my time with him. He was so cute. And I would see him laying by the pool, like in his little shorts, and I'd be like, oh my God.
They gave me the
island. So this song, lovely. Again, just such great sounds on this album. I love it. I'm gonna
make a bold statement on this podcast. But I think what I've always been looking for, like looking for love, what I've always wanted in my life was not the many, many men, the many. I've always just wanted these 4 songs in the middle of Damita Joe. Like, I just wanted to be on the island, spending time with someone. Like, these songs, they're really speaking to my heart. So I know it's like cheesy. But what song from a different Janet album would you compare this to as being an album cut that's good, but wouldn't be a hit? Like, what would you say? It's like a Go Deep, maybe? Well, that was a single. Never mind. You know what? My need.
How time flies.
Funny how time flies. Or I feel like my need.
Very good. Like it.
All right.
Like it's not intricate, but it works.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be when you're in love, and clearly she was in love. This is the way she was feeling.
The thing is, who doesn't relate? Who doesn't relate to this? Everybody can relate to this.
I feel like this album is what All For You wanted to be. Like, just this free-spirited, like, happy, fun album. Like, this actually is it. And
I think she had to go through All For You to go to here.
Yeah.
I'm always that type of person that the album came out at a time that it needed to come out for the artist.
So All For You started with like the bangers, but then it went to that long, slow stretch. On Damita Joe, you have the fucking, don't even start me about Carly and Martha's Vineyard. But on Damita Joe, you have the bangers, but then you go into this really lovely section. So this is such a different journey. So then you have did we already do the spending time with you? Did we already do it? I can't remember. The Magic Hour, a lovely interlude. And then we go into fucking Island Life, co-written with fucking Kathy
by
Dennis.
Miss Kathy Dennis.
Kathy fucking Dennis.
Fucking Kathy Dennis of D-Mob.
Wait a minute. How am I just learning this? Are you serious?
My God, yeah. Kathy fucking Dennis.
Well, no wonder I love it.
Kathy fucking Dennis.
And at the time I slept I slept on the song because I'm like, oh, there's no hook there. It's no can't get you out of my head or toxic. Bitch, this song is magical. Island Life.
Wow. I
Oh,
had no
yeah.
idea.
And if I'm correct, this is a fan fave by a lot of fans, right?
I felt the magic. I felt the sand on my
Yeah.
I was really feeling when I was driving today. Like
Fucking
the
Kathy
magic
Oh, it
is
gets a
there.
great groove
That bitch
going.
was in her bag.
This groove is going. I mean, it is such a breezy summer song. I mean, it is what you want to hear.
Mhm.
Windows down, nice day, rolling down the highway. The
Yeah.
vocals are great. I
Yep.
think
Yes,
the
they are.
vocals really shine
Yeah.
in this song too, as well.
And I put this in
Yeah.
the family of like someone to call my lover. You know what I mean? This song is just as good and feel good as that one. Why didn't it get the fucking attention? It's
Right.
so how did we sleep on this album? My mind is blown. Like I
Me
was
too.
playing this in my car today, just like Mr. DJ. It's so 2004. So good. Fucking Kathy Dennis. I can't say it enough because I have her on my wall.
Oh
From
Lord, too many
First-
walls.
Too many walls.
I'm shook.
There she
I
is.
had no idea that Kathy Dennis co-wrote this.
This bitch was in her bag in the 2000s.
I'm pleasantly surprised. Well, no wonder I love it. I love this song. It's great. It makes you feel like you're on the island. I mean,
Yeah.
damn it. Like, what else could she have done? She painted this picture with these 4 tracks. Like, you're there. You're in the islands.
And out of any artist in existence, Janet Jackson has the best feel-good songs of any, like Escapade, Runaway, When I Think of You, Island Life. Like,
Those are signature hits.
Signature
Like,
hits.
That's a Janet sound that nobody can replicate.
No one can
Right.
replicate that joy. And didn't Sharon once say in a podcast, it's like joy in a bottle? And I feel like
Yep.
Island Life is joy in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Okay. I'm like almost like losing my breath because I'm just so blown away. 2 thumbs up for Island Life.
And here comes my section.
Uh-oh, Jimmy's got his hand up. This is sick. Okay,
All right.
Jimmy,
Now,
take it away.
My hand is up because this song gives me everything I need in life. In this one song,
All Night, Don't Stop.
I mean,
Oh, my hand needs to be up with you there
I
because
mean,
this is classic, top
the-
10 in her
the-
discography.
have right here. It is in my top 10 favorite Janet songs is All Night. And I'm telling you, when that guitar riff kicks in, I mean,
That Herbie
it's like,
Hancock sample.
it's
That
given me
bass.
everything I need in life is right there. I mean, it was my favorite track since Velvet Rope. I mean, it is just such a great track. I mean, I wrote literally perfection. There is nothing critical I could say lyrically, the way it's delivered, the production, the sound. I think that she just delivered. This should be like a massive anthem. It's just for me one of the highlights of her entire career. And I do think that, in retrospect, at some point, this song is going to pop out again because it's just too good to bury,
Like a
I don't think
TikTok dance craze or something. It's got to.
exactly, because it is perfection. Thank you
Now-
for letting me say my piece.
Just to give a little counter, I remember at the time, like some of the bitchy gays are like, oh, Jan's mumbling again. She's in the warehouse with the flashlights.
Well, fuck those bitchy gays because this at a club was fire.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like first of all, the club remix is great. I love the club remix, but the original is it, y'all. That fucking video, she looks so fucking hot. The choreography, I'm like, bitch, that song I had on repeat a good 10 times. And I'm like, bitch, you gotta listen to the rest of this album, ho. You need to unrepeat that shit because it's so fucking good. It is a signature hit.
I kind of put it in the same family as Throb, as it's a Janet dance song, but it's so
yes, it's my favorite single of Janet's since Throb.
right.
It's like I look through and technically it would be my favorite single after Throb.
And
so I guess that shows you what, like, I'm kind of like more into the deeper groove kind of thing like that. So this is in my wheelhouse.
And it's so dark.
It arrived and I was there for it and I'm here for it now.
and it still doesn't sound dated to me. You know what I mean? Like it's still fresh as fuck. I feel like All Night does for 2004 what Throb did for 93. Albert, what did you think of this one?
I like it too. It's a hot song, and it didn't chart on the Hot 100. If this had been a single from All For You, it would have probably been top 5, if not number 1.
If not number one.
I don't know how it did not chart at least on the R&B charts, because this is
Wow, not even R&B.
This is a fucking banger.
That just goes to show what was going on with her at the time.
And I feel like everyone, oh, she's singing about sex again.
But it's not. I don't see it sexual like that. It is me on 2 mollies in the middle of the dance floor at Twist, just dancing the fuck out of my life.
Yep.
Because this is a dance song. And like you say, Jimmy, all the time, the darkness, when you combine darkness and dance music or R&B music, it's fire. It is so good.
Woo! Well, I give it 2 thumbs up. And this is one of those grooves that gets better with time too. Like,
yes,
I loved it in 2004. I did love this when the album came out, but I think I love it more even now than I did then.
Same.
So, all right. Another song I thought was a throwaway at the time, but then I'm like, oh, whoops.
Let me tell you, this song is an automatic 8 because of the fucking sample that I live for.
R&B Junkie is what we're talking about. What's the sample?
The sample of I'm in Love by Evelyn Champagne King. That is everything to me.
So good.
And it's on a sidebar real quick. I was looking at my 23 replay on Apple Music, and my 10th song for the year is I'm in Love by Evelyn Champagne King. I love that song.
So you didn't know Janet had sampled that for this album until you listened to it recently?
I did not know. know. And I'm like, bitch, how did I sit on this song? This is another 10. That's 2 10s in a row for me. Those are 2 10s in a row.
Yeah, I was like, bring the funk. My notes, bring the funk. Then it turns into a fun dance track. It was a
if
great
you're raised on R&B
night.
music, like I was as a kid, like 80s R&B is great to me. 80s, 90s R&B is everything. This was everything. The sample is iconic if you love R&B music.
So at the time, my bitchy myself that was tainted by the bullshit, I was like, oh, Janet's doing an 80s throwback like Mariah did better with Glitter. But you know what? Janet did just as good with R&B Junkie.
She did.
Justice for Glitter, bitch.
I love Glitter. Glitter's my favorite Mariah
that album.
Hey, by the way, are you doing a Mariah series? Because I will join for that.
I feel like we need to. I love fucking Butterfly through fucking Caution. Like, what a great discography. There's a couple albums that I didn't, but like Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel, masterpiece in my mind.
I like that one a lot.
E = MC squared is the fucking dessert after the meal that was Mimi. Like,
that's right.
Oh, fucking.
But Glitter
think
was
of the Mariah songs that could have hit, like Migrate. Like there's okay.
Bitch.
I'm sorry. sorry. I'm diverting, but I fucking love Mariah. And I think Caution was such a great. I put Caution right next to Unbreakable as amazing comebacks.
Highly underrated.
Oh, you guys are getting me excited about this music. There's
okay,
nothing I love.
This song is great. It's a 10 for me because of the sample and the lyrics is great. And it's just, as an adult now, you're jamming to your old, you are enjoying a song with your parents and your older cousins who probably were rocking Evelyn Champagne King at the time. And then you hear it again and you're like, well, damn. And it takes you back. It's a summer barbecue song. It is get auntie up so she can dance with you. And it's full of joy and love.
Yeah. Everybody would want to dance to this song. Yeah.
You know what's funny is like when I think of how we ranked other Janet albums that are like the masterpieces, I feel like by the time we got this far in the album, there was a track that we kind of ranked lower. I feel like we're almost ranking Damita Joe higher than anything. I don't know. I could be wrong, but like we're pretty far into the album and we're loving it so far.
Don't you jinx it.
Yeah, don't jinx it. Okay. R&B Junkie.
Thumbs up. Thumbs fucking up.
I did hate at the end. She's like, I want to dance with my baby. I'm like, okay, Madonna music. Okay, I Want You, the rushed single that did come out to lead the album. At the time, I felt like the snare drum was overpowering. It sounds like a fucking machine gun. But now, in 2023, I fucking lived for it. I'm like, it's
I
so
love it.
2004. This is such a soulful.
It is reminiscent of 70s R&B.
Yes, but
For
the
me.
2004.
Exactly. But the thing is, in 2004, they were using old school type of beats that nobody had heard, not some rehashed shit that you heard a couple of years ago. This, I don't know, this was just excellence as well. That's why I'm telling you, once we start off with Island Life for me and we move down these songs, this is my shit. And this is another, like, at least a 9 for this song.
Yeah.
Because and like her vocals, they're so crisp.
And the background harmonies, those background vocals she put on.
But because that's why it's so 70s to me. This could have been, this could have been the Emotion singing. This could have been a song that the 3 Degrees were singing. Like this is like an R&B girl group of the 70s could have had a huge hit with this song.
Doesn't this song sound like what love feels like? Like it does to me. Like when I think of the times I've been in love, it feels like this song. Just the glee and the almost like she's almost screaming it out in the chorus, like, don't you? I don't know. I do not know if this was the right choices for a single after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
But the thing is, so look,
she couldn't win no matter what though.
She had
Right.
Her first single was Just a Little While.
Right.
And that was gone. So then, which is weird because Just a Little While for me is just like in its own little island compared to everything that's on the album. So I guess she wanted to showcase the greatness in the R&B on the album, and she went with this song, it's a great choice, but being that she wasn't being played, it failed.
Okay. I feel like I was like listening to you guys, I felt like, okay, I'm obviously had a CD that had put a different track on than what you are talking about. But I had to like look back at the lyrics to make sure, because I thought the lyrics have a kind of sad undertone, which didn't really match the music to me.
Right.
I mean, because I'm reading the lyrics and it's like they are a little bit kind of sad. It's not, because she's conflicted about, and it sounds like this person isn't like as into her as she is into him.
Right.
And so it's, and she's telling him what he needs to be doing for her, kind of thing. My body is crying. These tears, can you wipe them? I mean, for me, I just thought the overall tone of the music didn't really match the somewhat sad lyrics. So I was a little conflicted with that. But and that was my only thing with it, because it sang kind of sunny, like you said. It's kind of like but then when you listen to it, it's like that's not really happy. But sometimes that's a great mix. Is to kind of mix it up, sing a sad song as if it's a happy song.
Like I said, that's how love feels to me. It always comes with a little sadness.
You're right.
Buried underneath.
Right.
Albert, what do you think of this one?
I love it. I played it so much at the time, and it's so interesting, how people hear things differently, Jimmy. Because to me, there is a little bit of an undertone of sadness. It's not so obvious, but that's the way I hear it. I hear a little tinge of it for some reason. I don't know. I feel like some of those old school R&B songs didn't always sound, happy, if they were about sadness or heartbreak. So I don't know. I guess I hear it a little bit differently, but I
maybe Together Again, like she delivered Together Again, which, lyrically is as deep a song as you're going to get, but she delivered it in almost a joyous manner. So maybe, this is, she's kind of staying in her lane with this song. And I just think, for me, I guess it just, when I was hearing it and really listening to it, I was kind of like, But now that I think about it, this is kind of her lane. So she's doing her thing. I mean, I didn't have a problem with the song. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I think it's a solid track.
So
Yeah.
had the
No,
Super Bowl not happened, do you think this would have been a big hit?
so it charted at 57 from Wikipedia. Uh, I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if it would have been released.
It wouldn't have been
Yeah.
released. No.
Yeah, I
I
almost feel
don't
like
think
it was
so,
damage
because
control.
honestly, after the smash hit that Just a Little While would have been, I would have gone straight into Don't Stop All Night. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Which
would
would have
have,
been a number
because,
one hit.
That
and it would
should
have
have
been
been.
another top 10
And
hit
then
for
My
her.
Baby would have been the third single, which would have been a top 5 hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right.
Oh,
But that's why I kept thinking, the song reminds me of When Will I See You Again by the 3 Degrees, because there is that sad tone in it, and I like shit like that.
Yeah.
all right. Well, I Want You. Thumbs
Yeah.
up.
I'll give it thumbs up.
All right. Like You Don't Love Me. She wants a man to do it to her. And don't go gentle. Don't bring those feelings in it. Just give her a bang. You don't like
This
it,
is
David?
No, I didn't. I was like, I couldn't. Not that I couldn't relate, but it didn't connect for me. For me, it didn't. Like, I was like, whatever. Love me
yeah.
like, like you loving one of your mistresses and all this kind of shit. And I was like, I thought it was like just blah to me.
That's funny because for me, I wrote down this one's hitting a little harder, which attracted me, after the last song. So I guess I was more like attracted to the heavy hitting and, give respect to the pretty clear and direct lyrics because there's no confusion. You're not confused about what's going on, that's for sure. And I thought it had a nice little jam to it. So
I put it as another album cut. It doesn't
yeah,
bore me
yeah,
like some of the stuff on All For You did. She hasn't lost me. You know what I mean? She hasn't.
right. Yeah, it didn't
Albert,
lose me in the
We're-
either.
This is where she's starting to lose me a little bit.
Okay.
This one I think is definitely fillerish for me. If you took it off the album, you wouldn't miss it.
Correct.
It's on here and I don't mind it. If the album's playing, I won't skip it, maybe, or maybe I will. It's I know we're not voting yet, but it's a side for me.
Okay.
I'm there with you.
I think
Yeah.
me too.
I would probably give this one a thumbs up just for me.
Okay.
So, to redeem myself from Strawberry Bounce.
Oh, yes. Which you need redeeming after that one. Go back and
Exactly.
listen to that shit and put the bass up. No,
Please leave them alone.
okay. The next song, I believe Janet did not write this one. It's a cover. Well, I don't know if cover is the right word because I don't think anyone else recorded it before her. Thinking About My Ex.
It's a great song.
We're more into ballad territory. Who produced this one?
Babyface.
Babyface. Yep.
No wonder I love it. This is a great song to me.
I thought it was
The
very
lyrics are very
2004, a 2004 kind of slow jam.
And for me, it's very personal and very relatable.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, okay. I was like, oh, she took a step down from the last song, but she brought me right back. This is a great song. For me, it's a great song.
And I think it's beautifully sung too. Like she kind of has that ache in her voice, that Janet ache.
Correct.
Yeah, she sings it really well.
She's not being a douche about it. You know what I mean? It sucks that she's like, look, I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but honestly, I can't get over my ex. And who hasn't been there?
Yeah.
Well, this one is not one of my favorites, and I think again, it's so funny how people listen to things differently because, like with my exes, I'm done. Like I've never been in that boat where I've been lamenting for an ex, so I don't know if that's part of it. So yeah, not one of my favorites, but I do agree that she sang it well.
I had the same issue with Adele's Maybe I'll find someone like you. Like, I don't want to find anyone like those motherfuckers that I got out of my life. Like, I want that island life for some new territory. I want some fresh dick, baby.
You know what? The thing is, you're not going to go back to your ex, but there were some happy times with him. You know what I mean? And there's like, maybe he slanged that dick like nobody slanged that dick. And you're going to be like thinking of that.
Yeah. I will say I do like this one more than Like You Don't Love Me. So she's on the rise again here.
Exactly.
And see, I'm the exact opposite because I wrote,
Oh,
I wrote that I felt like this is musically generic to a point.
Hmm.
But I thought that the important part of the song was the message itself.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I just felt like it sounds like an album track to me.
yep.
Just nothing. And I say generic, I don't mean that like bad generic. I just mean it doesn't jump out at me. Like it doesn't, like if it's playing in the background, it's playing in the background. I
Mhm.
don't like turn to listen to, oh, what's this song?
I feel if this was Madonna universe, this would be "Can't Stop" from the "Who's That Girl" soundtrack.
Oh no, I love Can't Stop.
How dare you? I don't
I
know.
love "Can't Stop"
But
also.
see, Jimmy, like I turned around to be like, yo,
Mhm.
what is this? Hold on 1 second. Ooh, like I played it on a loop this morning at work, and it caught me. It always caught
Mhm.
me at the time, and I was just like, because the lyrics are, for me at least, for me, it's relatable. I'm
Yeah.
like, I
That's what I could see. The message of this song is the part. I guess it just, it doesn't hit as hard as what I tend to gravitate
Right.
towards.
I agree. And when you said Jamie, musically generic, that makes me think like I feel like anybody could have sang this. Like Babyface could have given this to somebody else, and they probably would have done as equal of a job. Like this doesn't scream like a Janet song to me.
Right.
Maybe
Agreed.
that's part of it.
I agree kind of with everything everyone's saying. I think it's kind of generic, but I think it's a good song that Janet did a good job on it, and I feel like it fits the album. So I will give it a thumbs up.
I'll go sideways.
All right. Well, speaking of things being on the rise, we're about
Wow.
to the thunderstorm that it
Yeah.
arrives on every fucking Janet album since I don't know when. Here it is. The thunderstorm has arrived. Uh, we have two songs, "Warmth" and then "Moist." And after the Super Bowl, even seeing the track list, I'm like, oh dear, oh no. But every Janet album post Velvet Rope, I feel like has that slow stretch, and we have arrived there on Damita Joe. Um, how do y'all feel about "Warmth"?
I'm not as unhappy about this slow
Me
stretch.
neither. I don't think it drags like the "All for You"
I
slow
mean,
stretch.
right. I was not upset about it at all, really.
I maybe
So
set it up a little bit too negatively, but I think this is a better slow stretch.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, this is a bedroom jam right here. Yeah, the lyrics are explicit, and post Nipplegate probably wasn't, necessarily didn't work in her favor. But, as far as her slow sections, I am not complaining on this album at
Nope.
this point.
It's a better slow stretch than All for You, but I still do not really care for this song.
Okay.
Well, it's very explicit. I mean,
Well, it's not even that. I mean, I'm not prudish at all. I love Madonna, that should tell you something. And it makes me laugh because remember that interview where Janet said, "What I do has class."
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, Madonna never recorded a song literally giving a blowjob. So I don't know. I don't love this song. I don't love it. Yeah.
And honestly, I'm just not a fan of slow jams, period. Like, and even the classic Janet albums where you kind of get into like, there was that slow stretch on Rhythm Nation where you had like "Come Back to Me," which I love. But then there's a song, I can't remember the name of it. "Someday Is Tonight," is that the name of it? And then, you know, that's not my favorite section of Rhythm Nation. So this is not my favorite section of Damita Joe. I'll probably give this one sideways.
But you know
Yeah.
what? I mean, I felt like this was her artistic intention
Mhm.
is in these couple of songs. I mean, whether I agree with it or not, I felt like this was her, what she was wanting to express herself in this way. And whether it's, my taste or not, I respect her for doing what she wanted to do. And
Sure.
I think she did it well.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I don't have as much problem with it as in the All for You slow section. It's just because I just recognize the artistic integrity she put into this. And musically, I think it's just better than if you strip out the lyrics and what she's singing about, I just think musically it's better than the All for You slow slugfest that part of that is.
I just felt like she had done this before a lot better, like Anytime, Any Place.
Sure.
Songs
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so it just felt to me like here's more of that type of song, but not as good, not as memorable. The song is only 3.5 minutes, and to me it feels like it's like 5. And then, like Jeremy said, the thunderstorm starts at the end of it. This one's a no for me.
Well, coming on the heels of Warmth, we have a song called Moist. Brought to you by Betty Crocker's Moist Angel Food Chocolate Cake. Moist is even the word itself is a little controversial. But I like the music on this one. It's a little jazzy, right?
The music I like better on this one, but
Mhm.
it's still not for me.
It feels like a continuation of the previous
Right.
song. It just like, it just kind of the warmth melts into moist.
Yes.
I feel like this could be a filler as well. I don't hate it, but it didn't stick out to me. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Warmth did multiple times. I was like, what is that? And it's Warmth, but I can't remember Moist.
Well, I'm gonna give it the old sideways, I think.
Yeah, it's a down for me. Like Jimmy said,
Okay.
they just kind of melt into each other, and to me, they don't go anywhere. And there's really no climax, no pun intended, to either of these songs. Like they don't go anywhere. It's like, oh, we're doing this stuff, but there's no finish.
Right.
They just kind of start, go on, and then stop. They do nothing for me.
Well, now we have another interlude. It all comes down to love, which kind of is the theme of the album. We're taking the journey with Miss Damita Joe. Then we have it's another slow-ish song, but it's a little bit more up tempo. Truly, and I listened to it a few times, but it didn't even stick with me.
Yeah,
It stuck with me.
Okay,
Like
so
multiple times, I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is cute." I found it to be cute.
okay,
Now, will I be like, "Oh, it's the best song"? No, but I found it to be cute, and this is an album cut for me.
and I think with Janet albums, what I struggle with is I think maybe if the song was placed in a different spot where it wasn't coming after two dirge-like tracks, maybe I would have paid more attention to this one. But it's always dangerous to sequence too many slow songs after each other because I just lose, my attention gets lost.
I thought. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No,
I
go
thought
ahead.
this one would have worked better as an interlude because it's 4 minutes long, but it just kind of doesn't quite get to like the meat of something for me. I like it. It's okay, but I think she could have cut it in half and just called it an interlude, or maybe even more than half. But
Timmy, what was your thought on this one?
I think I wrote down that I was hoping the album was going to pick back up at that point. So when this song comes on, it's like, I was like, it didn't really just do it for me, and it was just a little too pretty for me. I mean, it is a pretty song, but I'm just not necessarily. I guess it just didn't stick with me like I was hoping. I think I was really kind of hopeful that okay, we've gotten through this slow section, and we're going to get to some harder hitting stuff again, and then we went for the frosting. We're not into so this is kind of like frosting me. It's pretty, and I don't have anything like super negative about it, but it just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, we have another interlude. Do we rate that one? I'll give that one probably like sideways.
Yeah, sideways for me.
We have an interlude where Jan's talking about it all comes down to the one, which you guys in the course of this podcast changed my mind about the interludes. I take it back. It's not poetic injustice. I'm sorry. And I feel like I'm going to keep listening to this album over the next 2 weeks and keep on falling in love with it more and more. Like I was so feeling it today that I almost didn't want to come home and do this podcast. Like I was so feeling it. But Albert sent me a podcast, and the next song, Slow Love, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he said this sounded like something that would be playing in H&M. And I'm like, oh yeah, it kind of does, but this kind of has that Euro disco H&M.
I love this song.
I loved it too.
I like it too.
I love it a lot.
Yeah,
like
me too.
Multiple times I had to like the beat. And then I'm like, what is, oh, this is, oh, bitch, you know it's slow. Bitch,
The
you
beat's
heard
back.
it 18 times already. You know what this song is. But it gets you every fucking time.
It kind of has that new neo soul thing that kind of Lisa Stansfield did on some of her stuff. I feel like
Good times, Lisa Stanfield.
I love me some Stanzy. I'll
Yo,
do a fucking
girl.
I'll
Let me
do a
pull
Lisa
this curl.
Stansfield
Let me hold
photo.
on one second. Let me get this curl going up in here.
But she had that self-titled album with all the club hits in '97.
Mm-hmm.
And
her duets with Barry White.
Oh yeah. So at the time I'm like, oh, this song's a throwaway. It is not. Everything's here.
It is so not.
That
it
magic
is
is there.
Fucking not.
No, this one bops along. It definitely does.
It has the harmonies, it has the ambiance, it has the vibe. Like this album has so much vibe, man. And I always made fun of my friend Quentin Harrison that writes for Albumism. He's like, the best Janet albums are Damita Joe Through Discipline. I'm like, oh, that bitch. So far, I'm like, oh shit, man. Quentin might have had something. I mean, we have 2 more to go. We'll see what we think of the other ones, but this song is magical. Like I listened to it 4 times in a fucking row in the car.
Yeah, this song is great. It's just so smooth. I feel like I wish Janet would make an album with this kind of sound. I feel like it suits her so well. And I remember when this album came out, people were saying, "Oh, this is Janet doing Kylie Minogue." And I kind of hear that. Like it gives me a little bit of some of those Fever album cuts. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that album. Like Your Love.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is great. I love this song so much.
Thumbs up for fucking Slow Love. Okay, and then the controversial interlude of the country. You know what? It's cute. Janet's talking about Damita Joe.
I feel like I like it because you know what? First of all, I didn't know her middle name was Damita Joe at the time. So it was just like, but I like the explanation. You know what I mean?
Ties it back.
Damita is not really country, but Joe is country, and Joe is after my dad. But since my mom was Southern, probably that's where the Damita came from. And I was like, and I'm laughing because I'm like, she might be right. This is cute.
Well, it's my fucking turn, gentlemen, to raise my fucking hand.
Bitch, you gonna raise your hand too?
I'm gonna raise my motherfucking hand. Because I will tell you, the first time I heard Just a Little While, I fucking fell in love with it because I'm like, this is Prince, Dirty Mind, 2004. All right, let me lower my hand.
For me, it did not go with the album because I thought it was a whole different sound. But
that's true.
I thought it was Bryan Adams' album.
For me, it was pop rock. And this is something that Avril Lavigne or Kelly Clarkson at the time could have had a huge hit with.
Yep.
And that was like, oh my God, this could have fit so perfect on Kelly's Breakaway. Her singing it just in that pop rock that only a female can pull off.
But you see, I love that she closed the album with this. It doesn't fit the album, but I heard the song before the album came out. And then when I saw it was the closing track, I'm like, the Janet albums, usually they end with like, she had they falter away with these bonus tracks, or they have the ballads. Like she ended Damita Joe with a pop rock fucking banger that has that new wave guitar, Des Dickerson fucking When You Were Mine organ in it from Dirty Mind. Like the harmonies in there are so good. This song would have been a huge #1 hit if it wasn't for the Super Bowl. Jimmy T.
I'm confused. Because I remember at the time hearing the Love Me Just Blaze track, which until I was really doing this, I didn't realize that was actually an alternate version of Just a Little While. Have you heard the Love Me Just Blaze?
She was trying to target the pop and the R&B market,
the R&B
right?
version is so much better. The urban mix slays this song.
It does.
And it would fit in the album better. So I was like so confused of between the two versions. I mean, to me, Love Me Just Blaze, like hands down, no. I was like, actually, because I remember listening to that song at the time a lot. And so I'm like, I'm sure I got it off Napster or something, or whatever. But I always thought that that was like an album cut, and to realize that no, that was just an alternate version that maybe I think it may have been released in Japan or something, something crazy. But I
See,
just think that version slams.
I love when albums are bookended by like the same song. I think it'd been awesome if like it opened with one and closed with another.
That would have been really cool because lyrically, when you pay attention, you're like, oh yeah, I guess it is the same song. But the sound between the two of them is just a world apart.
It had to end the album because it just does not sound anything like what's on the album. And
Yeah,
it
the
would be a
Just Blaze
crime
mix.
to like open the album with that song because you're
Right.
thinking one way and you go left.
Right.
I too, Jimmy, love that R&B version, that urban version, because it's straight fire. But this was great. Like, once again, ageism at its best. If these hookers like Avril Lavigne and Kelly Clarkson would have sang it, it would have been a huge hit for them, hands down. Or an Ashley Simpson could have just rocked this song so hard back then, lip syncing her ass. But it's a
Do you
great
think
song.
it would have been a hit for Janet though if Nipplegate didn't happen? I think it would have been.
It
already was.
It would have been it was already in top 50 on airplay points alone. Airplay points alone.
Can I tell you guys who told me about this song? Someone came up to me, they're like, this new Janet song leaked, and I love it. My fucking mom. My mom heard it on the radio. My mom loved Janet. She loved Velvet. And she's like, I love this new Janet Jackson song. So everyone was talking about just a little while. And then it just disappeared. Albert, what did you think of this song? I'm curious.
I like it. It was very fresh and different at the time. And yeah, I remember when it came out, it was being played and it was great. By the way, I've never heard this urban remix that you guys are talking about. So I'll have to listen to that.
Oh, yeah. Put that on your to-do list.
I'll look that up.
Trust and believe.
But I think this was a great choice for a first single because it was different. It wasn't like All For You. It wasn't like Got Till It's Gone. It was, she was evolving, and it's a shame. It's a shame that that the rug got pulled out from under it.
But the thing is, you have to remember back at that time what was hitting. We had hip hop, we had urban hip hop, but we also had a lot of pop and rock. A lot of rock.
Yeah.
Like this was perfect. This is her black cat.
And I feel like Jam and Lewis were pulling out of that early Minneapolis bag where you kind of were mixing R&B with rock, the way they did. Legendary trendsetters. Man, I think it's a fucking injustice that this wasn't a top 5 hit. I think those harmonies on the chorus, when she does the 3-part, it's gorgeous. It's pop perfection.
Yeah, it's great.
Just as good as anything else that was out that year. I don't fuck up. I don't think I fuck up with music a lot, but I fucked up with Damita Jo. And I am remorseful, just like you said, David. We done fucked up.
We did.
We done fucked up.
We did.
Because I enjoyed this album in my car today as much as I enjoyed any Janet album ever. And I felt it just as much. And I'm going to. Like, to me, this is almost like a new Janet Jackson album. I never really listened to Damita Jo the way I have this week. And I'm fucking pissed about it. I'm pissed.
It's how life is sometimes. You can't do it. It hit when it hit.
Yeah.
And when I say we fucked up that, we didn't have her back.
Yeah.
I felt we let, we let her down. And that's why now people try to question her fucking legacy.
Now, Albert loved this album from when it came out, but Jimmy and David, when you were listening to this for the first time, did you have the same experience I did where you're just like, oh.
But I didn't listen to it. I didn't listen to it.
No, I mean this week, like when we revisited
this week,
it.
I was like, why have I been eating shit? Oh my God.
Oh no, I've been listening to this weeks on end. And actually, like I said, I did a deep dive into all the tracks that were produced in this era. And I'm telling you, there are some of the outtakes that are better than the tracks on this album.
So do I talk about those a little bit? Go ahead and talk about the outtakes if you want. I
Well, I
know
can actually, I have no, well, ironically, I do have notes about some of them. Um, let's see.
she recently did Pops Up in a concert,
Yes, and that's one of them. And
and she's singing
that is
her
a
ass
party
off in that
tune.
song.
That's a party tune right there. Pops up. Yes.
And she's
It
not doing
pops
that
up,
whisper
pops
singing.
off. Yes.
She sings
There's
and Pops Up. I feel like she sings harder than she has in control. Like she's
yeah.
just belting that fucking shit out. I'm like, is this Janet singing? Because Jam and Lewis never produced her singing her full voice like
And there
they did
was
in
a
that.
bonus track on some edition called "Put Your Hands On," was a slow song, but at least it's I mean, it had kind of a beat to it, so that was
Hmm.
good. I like it rough with Farrell. I'm like, why was this cut from the album? I mean, it's like fits in with the theming, and it's a like jam in and of itself. Clap your hands, up tempo. The album could have used more of this. Could This Be Love, which is a nice slow jam, pops up like it says party tune. What can I say? Love the drama of the opening. It reminds me of a Mary J. Blige tune. Super urban vibe. I mean, kind of different for Janet, more in the Mary J. vibe, but she does it. Sex lines, in which was very intriguing, and Put It On You, which is another one where it has a rap in it, which would have fit in nicely, given that they have a Kanye. So, of course, when I did my revision, I worked in some of those into the resequencing of whatever. But she just put out a lot of great stuff at that era.
Jesus.
And it is sad that it went unnoticed, and I hope at some point some of this gets released because it really lands. I mean, it lands now.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm listening to it saying, "Oh, back in 2004, that would have been really good." I'm listening to it and saying, "I want to hear this now."
Yeah. I feel like it took 19 years for the world to. And
Catch
Albert, you
up,
were ahead of the curve. You got it before we did.
right?
But I'm here to say I want this podcast to go viral because I want everyone to hear this album. Can you imagine if
Justice
Damita
for
Joe
Damita
went
Joe.
to fucking number one?
Hashtag Justice for
Hashtag
Damita
Justice
Joe.
for Damita Joe.
justice for Damita Joe. Um, Albert, just to skip ahead, are you a fan of 20YO and Discipline, or do
I
you not want
really
to say?
liked. No, I'll say I really like Discipline a lot. I don't know. I know there was a lot of talk about that album because if I remember correctly, she didn't
She didn't
co-write
write.
anything,
Nope, only one
nothing on that
or
album.
nothing. Okay.
But there's a lot of songs that I really like.
Feedback
20,
was a bop.
yeah, that's the one that everybody remembers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like Discipline. 20YO, I didn't get into as much. But there's some songs on there that I enjoy. And like I said, Unbreakable, I have to go back and listen to because I've only heard it once or twice.
See, I think Unbreakable is a fucking masterpiece. And I remember when 20YO came out, the first two songs, I'm like, oh shit. So we are going to meet next month and have some shit to talk about. Okay, the time has come. So we rake the album and then we end with Jimmy's sequence. That's the new tradition of Phonogenics.
Mm-hmm.
Damita fucking Joe. Okay, I don't want to start. David, 1 to 10.
An 8.5.
8.5. And that's higher than you ranked All For You, right?
Big time.
Yep.
I pushing 9, honestly.
Yeah.
Pushing 9. It flows so well, even with the song I don't like. It just flows very well for me. And it's an album, like, am I gonna skip it? No. But like, I hope it gets the erotica treatment.
Yeah.
Where they look at it 20, 30 years down the road and be like, yo, we fucked up. This is some good shit. And I feel like we fucked up because there's some good shit. But hey, better late than never, right?
Yep. Woo, this has been a really awesome podcast. And Albert, I was so happy to have you with us. I hope you enjoyed yourself a little bit.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Well,
it.
now you have to stay though.
Yeah, don't leave us. What do you
can't-
rank Damita Joe? Scale of 1 to 10, Albert.
I'm gonna take David's lead and give it an 8.5. I do love it, but if we're ranking it in her discography amongst the Janet album, The Velvet Rope, it's not quite a 10 for me. Those 2 songs or 2 or 3 songs bring it down. but I think a solid 8.5 is fair for this. And the last thing I'll say is I saw Janet on tour for this. It was the Rock with You tour. And it was great. She was great. I saw her at the Staples Center in LA. And I will tell you that people who go to a Janet concert live their life. People, I was sitting up in the nosebleeds and people were dancing in the aisles with strangers they didn't even know. I've never seen that at a concert before. She just brings out so much joy in her fans and just people in general.
And I feel that that's like the mission statement of Rhythm Nation coming to life right there.
Yeah, people love her. And it makes me happy that in recent years, her career is kind of on the upswing again. You know, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I feel like people are starting to appreciate her again. You know, and it's too bad that she's gone away. She's only made like 2 albums in the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Been 8 years.
We were supposed to get Black Diamond, but then it disappeared.
Yeah. It makes me sad that she probably got discouraged. I don't know what it is. But...
And her last single, Made for Now, I think is as good as anything she ever came out with, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's great.
Jimmy, Damita Joe.
I had written down, I was torn between a 7.5 and an 8. I think that it's tough for me because like I said, I have been living this whole era of music. So it's like if I were to put in the things that I gravitate towards, it would be pushing like a 9.5, literally. I mean, there's that much good material out there. I put together a YouTube playlist of like my reimagined, Damita Joe reimagined or whatever. And I mean, I'll just briefly go through the track listings that would have been. It would have started with Damita Joe. I would have hit hard with All Night right up front. It gone into Sexhibition, R&B Junkie, Pops Up, I Like It Rough, Sex Lines, and then we're going to get into the Island Groove, Island Life, Slow Love, Put Your Hands On, I Want You. I left in Warmth and Moist just because I felt like that was an artistic choice or statement. They're not necessarily things that my favorite tracks, but I felt like they were part of the album. So I felt like I needed to put them in. And then What Can I Say? Put It On You. And then the Love Me Just Blaze version, which Albert, please listen to that.
I will.
You know? Yeah, definitely look it up because it just slams so hard. And like that combination, and I cut it down to 1 hour. I tried to make like an album that would be 1 hour long. And I have listened to that version, I bet you 25 times since putting it together because it just like flows and there's so much good material. I mean, she was so creative and productive during that time, and we were so stupid. Well, it wasn't really fair to us because the stuff wasn't released. I mean, it is hot material, unreleased. It's it's like you just wonder who else has this kind of great stuff that has never been released. But you can find it on YouTube. So, like I said, I put together a playlist, so it's there somewhere.
Cool. Well, shit. I think sometimes I'm the generous rater, and today's gonna be no exception. Due to my fucking failure to be a True Blue fan, I'm gonna give Damita Joe a 9. I think Janet did 2004 just as good as she did 86, 89, 93, 97, and 2001. I think this is just as effortless. It's the progression that I didn't realize it was. I just wish that the cover art would have been different. I'll even keep the title, but I just wish that the concept of what the album actually is had been outlined better, because it's not just an album of sex songs and Janet being dirty. There's so much heart and so much true like love and romance in these songs, and part of love and romance is sex, and it's really just Damita fucking Joe. So
what do you think would have been a good alternate title for this album? I'm just curious.
Oh,
like if the concept of Damita Joe wasn't exactly so strong, what would have been a good title?
Slow Love.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, Pops Up would not have been a good choice. That's for sure. Pops Out.
Pops out.
Imagine it's the slow love, the way it's stylized.
Yeah.
You know, because it's
I
about
like that. I
sensuality.
like
it's
that.
it's sensuality. It's sex. It's This album's everything, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause I will say I don't love the album title. I feel like this one and 20YO is even worse. I thought that was one of the worst album titles I ever heard in my life. But anyway,
well,
but the music's good.
I am looking forward to next month. I do hope Sharon listens to this album and gives us a little at the beginning of the next podcast. If she joins us, she can tell us a little bit of what
Right.
she thinks of Damita Joe. But Jimmy, I'll see you tomorrow for the Blondie podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Albert, I hope you join us again. I'd love to have you here. And David, I'm so glad that we've become friends through this because so much of what you feel is what I felt in my life.
Yes.
I have a feeling that we're all going to be playing Damita Joe over the next few weeks. And who would have
Oh, yeah.
fucking
I
thought?
already added it to my Spotify library.
So let's post that shit and get it out there. It's time for justice for Damita Joe.
That's right.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to go eat some wings and mushrooms and have a big smile on my face because this was awesome. Love y'all. See you next time.
All right.
Bye.